You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW-LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC-LP Conroe, and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
And welcome to our first cold front of the season in the latter part of 2018. I think the last one we had was in April. So it's been a few. So I'm quite excited about it. I went for a little run this morning and it felt fabulous. So at least we'll have it for a couple days and then who knows? You know, the weather's unpredictable. But yay. Anyway, so I am Margie Taylor, your host for Conroe Culture News, FM 104.5, 106.1 out of downtown Conroe, Lone Star Community Radio. And we're going to talk with Melanie Saxon, who's going to tell us about Spirits of Texas Conroe Rotary. Spirits of Texas is a fundraiser that Conroe Rotary does annually to raise funds for the club and also to eradicate polio. And then we're going to hear from Dr. Janet Wilson of Connect Hearing, who's also going to be at the senior luncheon for Jamie Mesh and Crisis Assistance Center with Comforts of Home. We're going to hear from her. And then lastly, we'll hear from Barbara Frazier and Wayne Keller from Cadence Hope Foundation that's going to talk to us about their little road rally that they are having to help parents of preemies in the neonatal unit. So we'll hear more about that. So this show is sponsored by Roger Stein Chiropractic Center that's located at 3303 West Davis and Conroe, across from Conroe High School and by Taco Bell. And everybody knows where those two things are. So what's really different about Roger Stein Chiropractic is that they practice the Cox technique. And what that is a very specialized approach to chiropractic care that utilizes a non-surgical, hands-on spinal manipulation. So if you want to find out more about that, then connect with them at Roger Stein Chiropractic Center. Early voting starts October 22nd. Thank you. Voting day is November 6th. So make sure that you read up on what you're voting on. So we have the premiere of two new performances at both the Crichton Theater and by Crichton Theater by Stage Right of Texas and the Owen Theater by the Players Theater Company coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they're a little bit on the Halloween theme, a little bit creepy. So, and then There Was None is a suspenseful drama based on Agatha Christie story of 10 strangers that are summoned to a remote island where the guests start to get murdered. Oh, no. Yes. So everyone on the island tries to figure out who is the killer. So you can get tickets at theowentheater.com. And then Into the Woods is the Halloween tale engaging many of the characters from your favorite fairy tales, including Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, Cinderella, and there's even a visit from Jack and the Beanstalk and an angry giant. You can go to thecrichtontheater.org to find out about tickets and when the performances are. But they will be going on for the next 3 weeks, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, and as you know, tickets sell fast. So make sure you go and check that out. Sunday matinees or Friday and Saturday nights at 8 p.m. So that's going on. And we just finished the Catfish Festival. Yay. So I know it was great weather for that. And I heard a lot of positive stuff about that from the merchants here in downtown Conroe. So thank you, Friends of Conroe, for putting that on. So some other family events that are a little Halloween themed. October 20th is the Trick or Treat Trail that will be at Carl Barton Jr. Park off of Loop 336, and that is free. And then they're also having a movie at 7:15, Transylvania 3. So some fun things going on. On October 26th, that Friday, they will be doing pumpkin bobbing at the Conroe Aquatic Center in the pool. So they will be bobbing for pumpkins. I have not seen that, but it sounds kind of fun. And that is for kids age 4 to 12, and there is a fee of $5. So if you want to find out about those events, you can go to thecityofconroe.org to find out all the specifics. Do not forget about the downtown Conroe trick-or-treating that we do every year, and that's going to be on Saturday, October 27th from 2 to 4 p.m. All the participating merchants will have a poster on their window that talks to the trick-or-treating. And there's going to be a costume contest this year at 4:30 on the east side of the courthouse, which would be on Main Street, across from Mimi's on Main and the Corner Pub. So check that out. You can go to Experience Downtown Conroe Facebook page to find out more details about that. Also on October 27th, there is a Fallapalooza with Watercrest on Lake Conroe. Now, that is a grand opening. They are located at 11138 Dawn Beach Lane in Conroe, and that is from noon to 3 p.m. It's a new boat ramp. They're going to have a live DJ, food trucks, face painting, pumpkin patch, candy apples, and everything fall. So it sounds like a lot of fun, and it's on the lake. So we never really know how long this cold front's going to last. It could be a boating day. Who knows? So, again, that's the Fallapalooza with Watercrest on Lake Conroe. Family Promise just had bed races in downtown Conroe on October 6th that went wonderful. We had about 125 people that were watching the beds race down the street. Some people lost their wheels. Well, they're having another event, Family Promise is, on this Sunday, October 21st, at the First Methodist Church in Conroe from 6 to 7:30. It's absolutely free, but they will be picking up a love offering donations after the performance, and that is called the Gospel Extravaganza. So we're going to roll into our first guest here, and the Conroe Rotary Spirits of Texas with Melanie Saxton. Welcome, Melanie.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited about Spirits of Texas.
Ooh.
I know. Some people said, does that have something to do with Halloween? And I said, well, sort of, because I guess the slogan is costumes are optional, clothing is mandatory, right?
Right.
And it's going to be held on October 23rd from 6:30 to 9 p.m.
That's a week from Tuesday.
I know. But very excited about the different beverages that will be there, paired with some great Texas food. But we have vineyards and we have distilleries and wineries and breweries from all over Texas that are heading in for this event. And that includes Western Sun, Brennan Vineyards, Bending Branch, Spicewood Vineyards, Messina Hoff, Southern Star, and Brigadoon, Fall Creek, Pedernales, Llano, Dutchman. I don't know if I said Dripping Springs.
No. And that's a winery, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's so interesting is that we, I think, still have more coming. I mean, people signing up to the very last minute, I think, for this event. So, and Margie, I think you know the different food vendors that are coming.
Yes. So Red Brick Tavern, Cedar Lodge, that's a brand new venue that used to be a golf course, Wedgwood, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And they are on 105 heading towards Montgomery. So Cedar Lodge just opened up. So they will be having some taste bites along with 105 Cafe, Pizza Shack, Willis, and they have Donatello's as their catering company. Divine Dogs premiering, and they are gourmet hot dogs. So they'll be having samples of the hot dogs.
Oh, yeah.
And the Whole Food Network was one I was referred to and spoke with them, and they do, I believe, French cuisine. So we will have great food. I remember last year, Debbie Glenn Red Brick Tavern had brownies, and they were so
To die
good.
for.
They were to
Yeah.
die for, yeah. And I think she had, what are those little hamburgers called?
Well, sliders.
Sliders. Yes, that's, I couldn't think of what they were. But so she has great food. We're still waiting to hear from Pacific Yard House as well. and hopefully they will be on track. So you have great wineries. We have a selection of, it looks like about 9 different wineries that are
Mm-hmm.
coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then the breweries, we do have B52 possibly as well.
Mm-hmm.
B52 and Southern Star, Lone Pint, and Cyclers are all from Montgomery County. So it gives you an idea of what our local breweries have and their upcoming events, and you can talk with them about why their brews are different from other ones. And distilleries. We have a local distillery too. Bartlett's is a brand new distillery that's in Conroe. So who knew, right?
Right.
So
That's so cool.
yes. Okay. So yeah, we have about 5 distilleries that are coming.
Mhm.
So again, this is next Tuesday, right?
It's Tuesday the 23rd, 6:30 to 9 p.m. And the tickets are, you can buy your tickets at the door. You can also go to Conroe Rotary and find tickets there. They're $25 per ticket. And again, just getting to sample all this wonderful food and this wonderful wine or brews. I know personally, I'm going to be a designated driver for friends. A bunch of my friends are coming to this event. So I think that's really cool.
And it's at the North Montgomery County Community Center, 600 Gerald Street in Willis, which is very easy to get to. It's right at the 1097 exit. You just stay on the feeder, and it's right past that. But it goes to help the programs with Rotary and to help eradicate polio, right?
Yeah, probably the most important thing of all, because a portion of the proceeds does go toward polio eradication. Honestly, that's why I joined Rotary. I thought that's one big worldwide cause that I can get behind. And so everything we do basically goes toward polio eradication. I know Cecily Kelly, our past president, just has a wonderful presentation on what countries are left in the world. I think there's what?
2 or 3,
Two
I
or
think.
3,
Yes.
that still have a few polio
and we're
cases.
talking like 3 cases in the
Yeah.
whole world.
Polio is very rare now, but it's just getting rid of those 3 cases and keeping those countries polio free for, I think 3 years.
I think it was 3 years.
And then the world will be polio free. And that will be a large thanks to Rotary International. So that and clean water initiatives is just, it just
It's
touched.
a must-have.
It touched my heart, and that's why I joined.
You know, I heard on the news last week that there's something that's very similar to polio
Mhm.
breaking out
Mm-hmm.
locally.
Mhm.
Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm. I did. I looked it up, and
Kids are starting to get symptoms of what is polio
mhm.
in the United States. That can't happen.
Well, they say it's they still don't really understand it, and they're saying it's like polio and it has some polio-like symptoms, but I don't know if it really is a form of polio or not. If so, then that means Rotary has more work to do.
So the answer is come next Tuesday, October 23rd, to the Spirits of Texas at the North Montgomery County Community Center from 6:39. You can come and go. And, you know, our world champion Astros will be in the World Series. So we will have that projected on the wall. We did that last year.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Yes.
You can come in Astro gear too. Why not?
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, some people, again, will be in costumes. Some won't. Some will be coming right after work. Some will,
And there's a silent auction too.
yes, there's
I
going to
don't
be
even know
wonderful.
what's in there.
There's going to be
Mhm.
wonderful, wonderful baskets from what I hear. So, yeah, eat, drink, and be merry. Come out and join us, and it should be a great experience.
I have tickets.
Me too.
So anybody interested can also come to the noon Conroe meetings, Tuesdays at noon to 1, every Tuesday
Yes, come join us.
at
Come
the Conroe
visit.
Chamber.
Yeah, come. We meet at noon at the Conroe Chamber. And what do you think? 20, 30 people show up per meeting, sometimes up to 50. It just depends. We have very interesting speakers who come in every week.
And great food.
Oh, the food's so good.
That's probably, I won't say the best part, but it's a good part.
Yeah, reach out to me or Margie and be a guest. Come visit, enjoy lunch with us, and see what Rotary's all about.
Okay. Anything else, Melanie? Oh, where can they find information?
Well, you can go to our website. You know what? Probably the best thing to do is visit Facebook. Go to our Facebook page, which is Rotary Conroe on Facebook. And we have all kinds of cool graphics and information on there about Spirits of Texas. And we would love for you to like our page as well while you're there.
Okay. And there's also additional information on Conroe Culture on Facebook. And this is live Facebook right now. So you can just stay on there and find the information. So if anybody's interested in getting tickets, you can show up at the door. You can send me a message. I have tickets. We can get you more tickets. So thank you, Melanie, for coming on the show and telling us about Spirits of Texas. We hope to see people there next week.
Oh, I think considering our ticket sales, yeah, we're going to have a very nice turnout. Y'all come join us and just have a great time.
Okay, we'll be right back with our second guest. I'm Margie Taylor, Conroe Culture News. This is sponsored by Roger Stein Chiropractic.
Since 2004, Roger Stein Chiropractic has offered spine and joint manipulation services to residents of Montgomery County and surrounding areas. Conditions treated include lower back pain, migraines, headaches, whiplash, carpal tunnel, neck pain, sciatica, joint pain, sports injuries, herniated discs, and complications from pregnancy. Roger Stein Chiropractic, led by Dr. Stacy Rogers and Dr. Brian McGee, is an integrity-verified chiropractic clinic. Call 936-441-9990 for an appointment or visit rogerssteinchiropractic.com. That's RODGERSSTEIN chiropractic.com.
Lone Star Boxer Rescue is a nonprofit organization serving Montgomery County and surrounding areas, dedicated to the health and well-being of the boxer breed. Lone Star Boxer Rescue is run and managed 100% by volunteers since 1999. Our main objective is to rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome boxers that come to us from many sources, including local animal shelters, owner surrenders, and strays. For more information about Lone Star Boxer Rescue, visit our website at lsbr.org.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app for your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That is Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
A Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show, with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Okay, we are back. I'm your host, Margie Taylor, Conroe Culture News, FM 104.5, 106.1. Joining me as the second guest on the show today, October 15th, is Dr. Janet Wilson, and she is with Connect Hearing. She's an audiologist. Did I say that right? I hope so.
Yes.
So she's going to tell us a little bit about what she does, and she's going to also be the guest speaker at the Your Comforts of Home Senior Luncheon that is hosted once a month, the third Wednesday of the month, with Crisis Assistance Center in Conroe. So we're looking for seniors to come there. It's a free program from 11:30 to 1. Anybody that considers themselves a senior, 65 and older, really is what we're looking at. But anyway, so welcome, Dr. Janet Wilson, to our program.
Thank you. You've by all means, call me Janet.
Okay.
I am an audiologist, so I can do hearing imbalance disorders. So mainly Connect Hearing. I've been just doing our hearing aids, which is our main area of expertise as our hearing world. And
So I have a few questions.
Sure.
All right. So you said balance disorders.
Mhm.
So if somebody feels like they're like walking into walls or a little bit unbalanced, does that generally have something to do with like an inner ear or hearing problem?
it can. So our balance organ's actually in our inner ear. And so that's one part of how we balance, along with like the feeling in our feet and our vision. So all three of those combined allow us to walk in a straight line. And so our balance organ can have a few things that occur in there that can throw our balance off, that can make us feel like we kind of drift to a side or make us feel like we're spinning in circles, even though our body is not moving at all. And so we would highly recommend that you see an ear, nose, and throat physician along with an audiologist, and then they can treat that. And sometimes it requires physical therapy.
So tell me a little bit about your background. You went to the University of Wisconsin,
Yes, ma'am.
and how did you come to start working in this field that you are in right now?
So I actually started out on my kind of college path as wanting to be an elementary teacher.
Okay.
And decided I wanted to find more of a specialty and stumbled across speech therapy. And while going through coursework for speech therapy, I actually found audiology, which all kind of tied together, and then was able to go from there right into audiology with no problem.
So do you like working with the younger kids and finding out what's going on with them?
I do. I like kind of all ages.
Mhm.
It's a fun area to have a little 5-year-old who gets to pick out fun colors for his ear molds. And then also to have, your 65 and older who get to pick out some fun colors sometimes too.
So there's all kinds of hearing aids.
Mhm.
I was looking online on Connect Hearing, which we will come back to and what that is exactly. But I did not know that there's like a variety of different kinds you can get. You can get the traditional ones that people see that's like maybe behind the ear, but you can get some in your ear. You can get some with a receiver. Tell me a little bit about that.
So definitely there's a variety of what we call styles of the hearing aids. So essentially they will all do the same thing. The technology that's put inside will operate very similar, whether it's in what we call in the ear. So it's all in that ear, shaped to that ear canal specifically made for you, or if it's something behind the ear. And your behind the ears can come, again, either with a customly molded piece directly for you, or it can come with what we call that receiver in the ear. And it's just a little wire and a little rubber piece. And it's more widely fit, not as customized, but easier to fit on everybody as long as those earpieces fit well. And so it really just kind of depends on your personal preference and sometimes your hearing loss, what kind and style of that hearing aid you have.
So is it also determined by, yes, how much you want to spend? Can they be like, you can't see them? Can they be invisible? I guess if they're in your ear, then you won't see them, right?
Depending on the size. So they can come in different sizes in the ear, so that some of them sit all the way down in the canal. So it really is invisible. You really wouldn't see it at all. And some of them are a little bit larger on the outside. It depends on the hearing loss, how small we can make it, and how large your ear canal is. So with those, we're a little bit more restricted on the size of your ear canal, on how much power for the hearing loss we can get in there. So again, it's really improved over the years. So it's not as common for me to say for a hearing loss that I can't do it. It's more figuring out what we need to do to make it work if that's something that you really want.
So tell me about Connect Hearing and that organization.
So Connect Hearing is more of a nationwide kind of clinical office. It's owned by a company called Sonova. And Sonova is actually a hearing aid manufacturer, or not really manufacturer, but they kind of own the manufacturers along with them. And then they have Connect Hearing, which is their kind of clinics that they have not only nationwide here, we're up to about 250 locations around the U.S., and they're planning to expand in the next 3 years, but also internationally. So globally, they actually have about 3,500 locations. And so
That's a lot.
It is. And most of them are called Connect Hearing. There's a few variations to the names throughout the countries, but they almost all have that same little symbol that we have. But the nice part is if you come here to see me and you go on vacation and something happens to your hearing aid, it's me finding you a location nearby, and all your services that you've seen me for are included when you go there.
So it's good customer service.
Yes, very good that way. Because otherwise, normally there's charges if you're going somewhere that you didn't purchase your hearing aid from. And so this one kind of allows you to kind of be more roaming if needed, because we do have those people out there who love their RVs and they travel all the time.
Sure.
And that
I would.
That's really handy. Like,
Yes,
they
no,
can-
that's a great service. So you are currently out of Montgomery, is that
Correct.
correct? Okay, and you see different patients that come in during the day. They make appointments, but you also have something. I was looking on there with Connect Hearing, where you can walk in and walk out for a 2-week trial pair. How does that work?
Yeah. So we do require you to come on in and we have a hearing test. Or if you've had one recently done, you're welcome to bring that with you as well. By recent, I mean usually within the last 6 months. And then I program a pair of hearing aids. I have some select stock that is just primarily for that. They're the brand new hearing aids out there, top of the line, and you get to try them out for 2 weeks at no cost,
That's
no
nice.
obligation. And you get to come on back and you get to tell me how well they worked,
worked.
and if we need to make any changes or anything that way.
So hearing aids have improved over the years.
Oh, definitely. From those original body-worn hearing aids that you'd have
Yeah.
to wear headphones for, to the larger behind the ears that squealed all the time, unfortunately, to now where you almost have to force them to do that whistle. And so they have changed so much in the time I've been practicing, let alone in the time that they've existed.
So, two different things. You have the young kids with tubes in their ears, and then you have elderly. So, tell me about kids that get tubes in their ears. Is that something that y'all do, or how does that work, and why are they only temporary?
So with the tubes in the ears, that's more your ear, nose, and throat physician.
Okay.
So they actually surgically place those tubes in the ears,
Mhm.
and it's mainly because they're having chronic ear infections that just can't clear on their own.
Has nothing to do with the hearing.
And it can affect the hearing because of the fluid in the middle ear,
Mhm.
and the tube can affect the hearing slightly, but usually once everything's cleared up, they're fine and back to normal.
And they have to be surgically removed?
No, they tend to fall out on their
They
own.
fall out, yeah.
Most
That's
of the
what I've
time.
heard. My
There's a-
kids didn't have that, but yeah.
There's a few times where they have to go in and get them just because the eardrum doesn't want to let them go.
So, do you work with all ages, or do you have a specification?
So I can work with all ages. At my current clinic, I usually say about 5 and up. And that's just because some of the equipment I would need to test the younger ages, I just don't have in my clinic at this time.
So, tell me about senior hearing loss.
Yeah.
You know, is that what you're going to focus on at the luncheon on Wednesday? I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
We're going to
Since
talk.
we're talking to seniors.
We're going to be aiming it a little bit more towards our senior ages.
Okay.
Yes. So we're going to go over your general kind of types of hearing loss, how we get it, maybe how we can prevent it a little bit, because October is Audiology Awareness Month, as well
I didn't know
as
that.
Hearing Protection Month. And so we definitely want to protect that hearing if we do have good hearing, and make sure we're wearing hearing protection around any loud noises. And that can include the lawnmower, I like to tell people, or even a really loud vacuum if you're using it a lot throughout the day. And so we're going to touch bases on that and a little bit about our hearing aids as well, and answer as many questions as they want to ask.
You have a interesting hearing loss self-test checklist
Mhm.
that I was looking at. I should give this to my husband. Yeah, that select hearing or what? Well, kids, teenagers too. You
Mhm.
know, do you hear people mumbling and not really clarity? Are you having difficulty understanding people? I think this is something people should look at it. You were talking about the lawnmowers and the high noise levels and the vacuuming. And do you turn the TV up super high because you can't hear it? You know, those kind of things do make you think maybe I need to check this out, right?
Definitely.
Are there
And-
some other things that would be indicators that maybe you have some hearing loss?
if you're struggling to hear, and not necessarily hear, but understand, especially when it's background noise, if you're going out to eat with friends and suddenly you just don't
Yeah.
feel like you're a part of the conversation
You
anymore,
can't focus on what they're hearing.
and you're struggling, and then you just go, I'm not going to go. that's not what we want to see. The hearing aids can filter out that background noise, bring up those voices, you get your clarity back, and you get to be out there with your friends and family.
Isn't that exciting when you can see the face on somebody after they put in a hearing aid and they can suddenly go, oh my gosh, what a difference.
You know, I've been doing this for 8 years and I still get that awe moment every time I have somebody who just seems really kind of quiet and you don't really talk a lot. And then you put the hearing aids on them and suddenly it's like nonstop smiling and talking and sharing stories. And I'm going,
They're a new person.
You're a whole new person.
Right.
At first, I didn't know if you really liked me.
That's funny. It is cool.
You can see the change in their personalities within 10 minutes, and it's wonderful.
Well, you have shared a lot of really good information that I did not know. And the website there is connecthearing.com. And if there's any seniors that haven't RSVP'd, you can still come to the luncheon.
Mm-hmm.
It's 11:30 to 1 at Crisis Assistance Center, which is 1022 McCall Street in Conroe. It's kind of by the CVS Center off of Dallas Street, around that area if you want to navigate. And you can go to yourcomfortsofhome.com and put an RSVP also that you're coming. So we want to make sure we have enough lunches. But anybody can come. If you're not worried about having lunch, just come. Show up and listen to what Dr. Janet has to say about hearing loss and some of the symptoms and some of the new products and things that you can look at. So what am I missing?
Well, even if you can't come to the luncheon, you're always welcome to give us a call and
Go to Connect Hearing.
Yes, I'm always happy to share my knowledge.
And you'll have a Facebook page, and you can go to connecthearing.com and see all the different locations that they have. It's pretty vast. There's a lot of really good information. What is the largest reasons for loss of hearing?
Noise exposure is a big one, especially our people who used to work in a lot of factories and industry work. But really, it's also just our natural aging
Progression.
process. Unfortunately, as we get older, parts of our body just don't work as well as they used to, and hearing is a big part of that.
It's one of them. So what about if you work like at a fire department or something like that with all the sirens? Have you ever seen that
So
with firefighters losing some of the hearing?
a little bit because of that. The hard part with noise-induced hearing loss is it takes a certain level of loudness over a certain period of time to really
Consistency.
cause the damage. It can be one single noise that happens if it's extremely loud.
Okay.
That can damage it. Signs that you're starting to lose your hearing because of noise is the ringing in the ears. So you go to a really loud concert and you leave and you go, oh, my ears are ringing. And
That's a bad thing.
then the next morning you wake up and it's gone. That's a good sign that we damaged a little bit of our hearing by being
Wow.
at that concert. Even though it might have been really fun, we did a little damage.
Any words of wisdom?
Wear that hearing protection.
Okay. All right.
Yes, my husband makes fun of me for wearing mine to concerts, but my ears don't ring afterward.
Okay. Good information. Well, thank you so much. And we're going to take another break. This is sponsored by Roger Stein Chiropractic. And our next guest will be coming up to talk about Caden's Hope Foundation. And I'm Margie Taylor. We'll be right back.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
What is homelessness? Have you seen parents struggle to find a job without having transportation or childcare? What about the children sleeping in cars with nothing to eat? Families shouldn't have to struggle to survive, and children should not be homeless. Family Promise of Montgomery County serves the needs of homeless families and their children. Learn about ways you can help and Learn about partnership opportunities at www.familypromiseofmc.org or call our day center at 936-441-8778.
Since 2004, Roger Stein Chiropractic has offered spine and joint manipulation services to residents of Montgomery County and surrounding areas. Conditions treated include lower back pain, migraines, headaches, whiplash, carpal tunnel, neck pain, sciatica, joint pain, sports injuries, herniated discs, and complications from pregnancy. Roger Stein Chiropractic, led by Dr. Stacy Rogers and Dr. Brian McGee, is an integrity-verified chiropractic clinic. Call 936-441-9990 for an appointment or visit rogerssteinchiropractic.com. That's RODGERSSTEIN chiropractic.com.
Lone Star Community Radio is ready for the summer. If you or anyone you know is looking for a summer internship, Lone Star Community Radio is a great place to learn the radio and TV business. Contact the station at info@irlonestar.com or call the station's message line at 936-647-3776. Lone Star Community Radio offers a great opportunity to those interested in learning about the radio world.
Okay, so now we have Wayne Keller.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, he was an old hat at radio. He used
Done
to
it a little
have
while.
his own show here. So I'm excited to have Wayne sit with me here, and we're going to talk a little bit about preemies and parents and events and maybe a little country music. I don't know, whatever Wayne wants to talk about. But Wayne is here with the Cadence Hope Foundation, and he's going to tell us about a fabulous event they have coming up on October 27th. Along with the trick-or-treating in Conroe, you can also get involved in the Halloween Road Rally for preemies, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a unique idea. It was actually presented to me about 2 years ago, and I went, huh? I have what? I have no idea what you're talking about. And it was then again explained to me again this year, and it made a lot more sense. So we decided to have a road rally for preemies and take people around the county and a couple other counties and have them follow directions and instructions and see whether or not how many times they get lost in trying to get to a specific place where we can't tell them where they're going. And then we'll have a party and live music and all that stuff.
So it's kind of like a scavenger hunt.
It's a scavenger hunt for cars.
Yes, I went on one 5 years ago, and you borrowed a Mini Cooper. Now I have one, but you borrowed Mini Coopers and drove around Montgomery County.
Well, we don't have any of those.
So this is
you're
your
gonna have to bring
own your own vehicles, and you must sign up beforehand, or can you show up? What's the rules?
We would prefer you signed up ahead of time, but I'll tell you what, you show up with $75 in your hand, and guess what? You get to go.
You get to play.
It's just that simple.
So this is happening Saturday, October 27th, the Saturday before Halloween.
Right.
And it's 10 to 10, something like that?
Well, they need to be at the parking lot that's next to the Owen Theater, next to Founders Plaza.
Jury parking?
Jury parking, that's right. They need to be there about 10:15. And the first car is not going to leave until 11:45, so you got a little bit of time.
Oh, my.
But we've got some live music going on that same day. And
Anybody I know?
Well, yeah. But we can't tell you who.
Oh, okay.
Actually, we can. That particular artist is Jared. Jared's a good friend of the folks around here and a good friend of ours. And he called me up one day and said, you guys need music? I went, yeah. And so we decided to do it. But anyway, we're going to have all sorts of things going on while the people are getting their final instructions. And at 11:45, about every minute, a car will take off and try to get to the final destination. Now that we're not going to tell you where that is. We're not going to tell you who the music is, because they might look it up on Facebook and then figure out where you're going. Problem is, even though if I told you exactly where you were going and you didn't follow all the directions and you didn't answer the questions, you wouldn't win anything anyway. So I think we could tell you, we're just not going to.
So you win prizes.
Yeah. In fact, Southwest Airlines is partnered with us, and giving away 2 tickets to any domestic destination anywhere in the United States that they fly.
Nice.
In the 48 states. And that's for the winner, but the winner also gets to choose whether they want the first place prize or the second place prize,
Which is?
$500 from HEB.
Okay.
And
everybody buys
I
groceries, right?
personally think that'd be a great prize to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna have these little directions and clues and things. And I'll be honest with you, my wife and a police officer, a Conroe police officer, we had them run the first 4 instructions, and they had to start over 3 times. They actually never got out of downtown Conroe, which is only the instructions we gave them, but it took them 45 minutes and they ended up going 2 blocks. Now, within that 2 blocks, they went 3 blocks this way and 7 blocks that way and 2 blocks back, etc.
Were they frustrated?
They were very frustrated. In fact, I can't say what word kept coming out of my wife's mouth, but
I would be frustrated.
she got a little bit frustrated, but
So it's kind of like the Amazing Race
exactly
kind of thing, only you're in your vehicle.
Yeah, and you need a driver and a navigator, and driver seriously to really just to follow the road and to make sure you're not running stop signs and things. We don't want anybody to get hurt or cause accidents or anything. And the navigator to really look for all the clues. And then together they also have to think about some of the questions. And they're not just necessarily easy things to figure out. You get a clue and maybe you've got to figure out what the answer to that question is. And the more you get right, the better chance you have of winning. And then you might be going somewhere on Southwest.
So when you go to different destinations, according to your navigation rules that you get at the beginning of the race,
Right.
do you pick up a prize, or does that then send you on your next destination? How does that work?
Well, you don't pick up any prizes. There are
Okay.
several locations where we are asking you to get out and take a selfie with something. But basically, it's just to let you know that you're on the right path to get to where you need to be.
So there will be something that will indicate that you are on the right path.
Right. When you come to question number 3 and it says to look for a specific thing, when you find it, of course you'll know you're on the right path, and then you follow the directions to the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. But I think what most is exciting about this is the amount of I don't want to say prizes because those are pretty good, but we've got some auction items and things, including stuff like $500 in fireworks. Now that's going to be fun.
That's a very novel idea. Yes.
I mean, getting to blow something up, that is really cool. But
Then we go back to the hearing loss girl who was
Yeah,
just on here.
the doctor was here.
Yes.
But there's lots of things, including country music has really been good to us over the last couple of years, and we've got quite a few autographed guitars where the country music artists, well-known country music artists, and regionally and nationally, have contacted Cadence Hope and said, "Hey, we want to help you out in some way or the other," including a guitar signed by Randy Rogers and Wade Bowen, Cameron Nelson, who was just here yesterday at the
Catfish Festival.
Catfish Festival, good friend of ours. He's got like 6 number 1s in the state of Texas. Kyle Park has donated 2 different guitars. Kevin Fowler. Are you familiar with Kevin Fowler? Kevin Fowler he's a party guy. And believe me, every concert I've ever been to of his, it's all about beer, ammo, bait, girls, having a good time. He's a party guy. And
all the fun stuff, right?
I tell you, and I was so surprised. This really knocked me back when he was signing the guitar for us. He wanted to know why he was signing it, and I told him and what it was for and everything. And he's done several in the past, but this last time, I couldn't believe what he said. I said, "Kevin, thanks for doing this. You're going to help families have babies in neonatal intensive care." And he looked at me, he said, "Thank you for doing God's work." I just didn't expect that from Kevin Fowler. I'm glad.
Nice.
I'm glad he's like that. It's very nice, but I just didn't expect it. Aaron Watson, who's becoming a rather well-known, he's regional act still, but he's becoming more known nationally. The very first guy in the history of music, no matter what kind of music, the very first person to have an independent artist with an album that debuted at number 1. Now the Beatles do that, and Rolling Stones did that. They've all done that, but they had a big machine behind them, programming departments and
Promotional people.
departments,
Mhm.
and they have all that. He doesn't have any of that. It's him and his wife, and he's the very first person in the history of music to do it. And it was a great album, and he's a very, very nice guy. And then we had there's this little known artist that you might not have heard of very much.
You're motioning to
Yeah,
someone who's not
not
listening.
paying attention. Yeah.
Anyways,
There's this little known artist that you might have heard of who we contacted, and he was very, very glad to when we told him what we were raising money for, to help us with by signing a guitar. And we've got guitars by George Strait to auction off, and I really think that having a good George Strait signed guitar should really make a difference in our budget for next year. I would think
hopefully so.
he's he's a pretty well known guy, and he's very, very nice and very down to earth. And when we told him that this was to help out families with babies in neonatal intensive care, he was just absolutely sure, I can do that, and I'll do it right now. And what the public doesn't know is that he signed a guitar, but then he signed another one.
So you have two.
So I have two.
So
Or as
let's
my
backtrack.
wife, my wife says, we have one, and the auction has one, but that's not the way it's going to be. But
Right. Let's backtrack. Let's talk about Cadence Hope Foundation. How long it's been around, what y'all do with the funds, and a little bit about the nonprofit organization.
Yeah, we've been around a little over 8 years. A little boy named Caden was born in Southern California. He's a good friend, or the grandson of a good friend of mine. And when he was born, his mother, every one of her prenatal checkups was fine. And then one day it wasn't. And she went from not feeling well to being in the hospital immediately, and then 5 days later giving birth to Caden 2 months early. He was then immediately transferred to the UCLA Mattel Children's Hospital in Los Angeles, which is about 80 miles or 50, 60, 70, 80 miles from their home. She lost her job because she couldn't afford to drive back and forth and take care of him and be at work, so she lost her job. Her grandfather, her father, Caden's grandfather, lost his job the same day, but they didn't let any of that stop him. They immediately went into Grandpa got out a credit card and took care of everything they needed to take care of, which was mostly a place to stay. And after we found out about it, my wife and I decided to form Cadence Hope. And we've been helping families across the United States ever since. And we've helped 500 plus families. We just helped one the other day that was in spring, and the baby is in the Woodlands. And you think, what kind of assistance could they need? Because it's not very far. They get to stay at home every night. It's no big deal. It's still incredibly expensive. And we're not talking the medical part. We're talking just driving, gas, lunch, because these people want to stay at the hospital as much as they possibly can to care for their son. But they don't always have the finances to do that. I mean, you go out to lunch every day, it starts to add up. You got to buy gas every day. It starts to add up. And well, we do our best to try to make sure that these families don't have to deal with those little things that add up.
So what do you need most from people?
Money. Just straight to
In
the
any
point.
form.
In any form, straight to the point, yeah. Which is why we have these type events from time to time. And we want people to have a good time, but they also remember that they're helping out a family that is in a real jam and just needs as much help as they can possibly get.
So in the past, you had a fundraiser in the fall that was a festival,
Yes, we did.
and you're not doing that this year.
Not doing that.
That was
this
in
year.
October, so you're doing
Yes.
the road rally in place
In
of, more or
place
less.
of, yeah. We had a very well liked festival, and unfortunately attendance was dropping off year after year after year, and we decided that it was just time to let that go. But I wish that we didn't have to do that, but that's the way it turned out to be.
Sometimes things happen that
Yeah,
way.
sometimes
Plus that
that's
you
just
had
the way it
less
is.
property to
Yeah.
work with too.
Yeah, it was in a very specific location, and we had lots of land to use
In the beginning.
for this event in the beginning, and now their house is sitting on that land, and so the amount of space was really
Didn't do justice
it
to
just
the
didn't
event.
do justice to the event. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
And also when you want to fire large weapons that make an awful lot of
Like
noise,
cannons?
like cannons that make an awful lot of noise, they have
Neighbors
a
don't like
tendency
that.
to break windows and things.
So that was the Texian Heritage Festival that used to belong to the food bank as Feeding the Frontier, and then it kind of merged around and landed in your doorstep.
Yeah, thanks to some
So,
good friends. Yes, it did.
So now you're hoping to move forward. Do you have an anticipated amount you're hoping to bring in, or anything is helpful?
Well, we always believe that anything is helpful, but I'm thinking if we will probably bring in between 8,000 and 10,000. And I'll be honest with you, most of it's going to come from George Strait, not from him, but from his
guitar.
From his guitar.
Okay.
We have some people that are very interested in it, and we've been telling about it, and they're the kind of people that, not like me, that actually have that kind of money. They can do that without, spend it without hurting them like
Without
it would
blinking.
me, like it would me.
Correct.
Yeah.
So all the information is on your website, cadencehope.org,
Right, correct.
and that's to enter the road rally. And is there a possible? Do they need to do the road rally to go to the auction?
Well, that's a good question. The answer
Can they
is-
just
the
show
answer,
up?
They could show up, but we're not telling them where to go. So,
Oh, I mean, because you want somebody to buy that guitar.
yeah, and we have people that are doing that that would normally be there, and some people that we have told what's going on who we know are not going to run the rally, but I just can't tell you where it's going to be because that would defeat the
Okay.
purpose.
Okay. So maybe later in the day, you might put it out on Facebook or
Yeah.
something if people want to know where that silent auction is.
It'll be a good day, and it'll be a lot of fun. And I think that you're right. There are people that wouldn't necessarily want to run the rally, but might want to bid on a George Strait
Show up
guitar.
later, yes,
So
to support you.
I think later in the day we might be letting that happen. Yeah, it's a good idea. In fact,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is 10-ish to 10-ish.
approximately. Yeah.
Approximately. Is it
Yeah.
going to take that long to do a road rally?
Well, it's about 125 miles.
Okay, goodness. But it
Yeah.
starts in downtown Conroe at Founders Plaza. You can park at the Jury parking lot right by the Owen Theater. And that's in downtown Conroe off of Main and Metcalf, pretty close to. And you can go support Caden's Hope. Anyway, you can still go online and give you a donation, correct?
Absolutely.
I mean,
We-
that'd be okay too, right?
we never turn down money.
So
because
the
we
road,
have a use for it.
absolutely. So the road rally is Halloween road rally. So I guess you could wear costumes if you wanted to as well.
We actually have a certain number of prizes set aside specifically for people in costume. And to be honest with you, it's going to be me deciding whether you got the best costume. And there's nothing, it's what I feel. And,
Okay.
And so if I think you've got the best costume, well, guess what?
Then you win.
You win. It's that simple. So
You win the guitar.
this is
No, just kidding.
Didn't
So
say that.
does your car need to be decorated too?
No, it doesn't need to be. If you want,
Okay.
if you want to, though, go for it. You know,
Okay.
these are. I don't know how to say it, but these are just. It's just a fun day, and if nothing else, I mean, you might walk away with $60 from Red Lobster.
Well, you're going to get more knowledge about the foundation one way or another.
Absolutely.
Now, I noticed you had a comment on there. Along the way, you may be unaware of what may be creeping up behind you. Okay, so while you're driving your car, there might be something behind you.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
I mean,
All right.
there are some places that lend themselves to Halloween.
Okay,
The idea of Halloween.
we'll just
and,
go with that.
And maybe maybe something will happen. Maybe it won't. I really don't know.
Will our buddy Michael Player be there?
I couldn't tell you.
I could ask.
You could ask.
Okay, Wayne Keller, Caden's Hope Foundation, and the road rally is Saturday, October 27th. Go online and sign up or show up at 10 a.m. that morning with your fee of $75.
$75.
Okay. I am Margie Taylor, your host for Conroe Culture News. This is sponsored by Roger Stein Chiropractic, and we will be back at you next Monday. Thank you. Have a great day.